truth and light, where the spirits dance all night. The Creator gang shines bright, guiding us with all their might. Trumpets sound across the sky as we raise our voices high, praising the one most high under the auspice watchful eye. We sing songs of love and grace in this sacred space. For the Creator gang we embrace, their wisdom we chase, with trumpets playing in tune under the silvery moon. We dance until the morning sun, this connection never undone. Harmony in every beat, our faith is concrete. Through the pages of the OSP, ancient wisdom on display, teaching us the righteous way, leading us to a brighter day. With each trumpet blast, we're reminded of the past and the love that will ever last in this divine contrast. United in spirit, we uplift and hear it. We sing songs of love and grace in this sacred space. For the Creator gang we embrace, their wisdom we chase, with trumpets playing in tune under the silvery moon. We dance until the morning sun, this connection never undone. We sing songs of love and grace in this sacred space. For the Creator gang we embrace, their wisdom we chase, with trumpets playing in tune under the silvery moon. We dance until the morning sun, this connection never undone.
Bittersweet Herbals. What it tastes is bitter, but the results are sweet. Bittersweetherbals.com.
Run the rhythm.
Bittersweet Herbals. What it tastes is bitter, but the results are sweet. Bittersweetherbals.com.
Yes, family, make sure to get your bitters. You know how we do around these parts. Ready, gang. Just a little to the righteous gods and goddesses, those who serve it, the Creator. Yeah, not dealing with no man worshiping on these times. Yeah. Creator gang of nothing. Gang is the shift. We're the paradigm right now. Gonna make everybody start talking. We'll have more people say Creator to the gang. Yes, family. I've been running these things, these pods. How we do. Our business is might be created them. Vibes, Aguan. Yeah. It's good, family. Selah Shalom in the building. You know what I mean? We're going to give a big shout out to the boy Cosmon Cal. Did his thing yesterday on DMG. You know what I mean? Paradigm shift, salute to the God. I checked out some of it last night, this morning. Cosmon Cal did his thing. You know what I mean? Hands down. So, just want to salute the God. Keep the momentum. See everybody chiming in the chat. You know what I mean? I see the family. Bazell, Wagwan King. You know what I mean? Salute to the righteous God, Bazell. Out here in the ATL. You know what I mean? Yo, we still got to run up on them brews one of these days, yo. Still got to run up on these brews. Raise some questions that we know they going to have a problem answering. Salute to the God. Shout out to my nigga Malachi McAfee in the building. Righteous God. You know what I mean? He got a show in St. Louis coming up, a presentation, face-to-face presentation, boots on the ground. That's coming up in May. You know what I mean? Stay tuned for that. We're going to have the flyers and all that soon. So, you know what I mean? Gang making moves. I mean, I see Elohim, peace, love, and light, gang, I see you. I see you. What you say, Prince? What up, Prince? That's the young Prince right there. You know what I mean? You got the young Prince in training. He gonna come snatch one of you cats one of these days in a debate. Snag on you. Yeah, that's the young Prince right there. Peace. Peace to the elder. What you say, King? CGG? All day, right? That's right. Pretty gang. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I see the guys. I see everybody chiming in. Where's it, John? Johnny, where's it, John? Big up yourself, create a gang. Yogi in the building. Peace to the God. Peace, God. In my 5% voice. Peace, God. What's today's mathematics? Wisdom equality. Come on. See the family that chime in. The Free Thinking Podcast. Salute. Peace. Ayah. Where's the big man? Large up yourself. Big up yourself, yeah? You know how we do. Yeah, man. Yeah, so shout out, like I say again, to Cosmo Cal. You know what I mean? Did this thing on DMD last night. So he showed to prove how, you know what I mean, like the WASP is for black people. He proved that last night. So for anybody talking about this racism, Cosmo Cal just single-handedly threw that out the window. Because he showed and proved with chapter and verses and used black community and black man as a subtitle for everybody to show you how you're included, how you've been done injustice. You think the white man going to write his crimes and his injustices in his book? No, he's going to polish it up and make himself look as good as possible. But the way Cosmo Cal laid that out last night, ain't no more excuses. And I missed half of the lecture last night. I came in late towards the end. And the thing that caught me when I caught on, you know what I mean, cats was still ranting about silliness after the lecture. I'm like, y'all didn't even question what the man spoke about. That's how far the disingenuous is about information. It's like, y'all want to play games, you know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, this man just laid out a foundation about how, you know what I mean, it's injustice done to black folks in the WASP. The government that does the injustice, you know what I mean, is judged. So it's shown and proven. Ain't no color line to be a WASP. Try to make a dollar out of 50-cent brunch, or you crazy? Yeah, this is an open session. Ain't no particular topic. I'm gonna drop the link in the chat if anybody want to hop on. You got any questions? Drop them in the chat. It's a freestyle session. It's a freestyle session. You know what I mean? Yeah. They go to the link in the chat. Anybody want to hop on? Anybody got any questions? Anybody want to build? You know what I mean? Keep the momentum going. Keep the vibe going. You know how we do. But until then, we just vibing out. Share my screen. Now, one thing in the Owaspy that is a commandment from the Creator in this dispensation of time is expressed in chapter 1, verse 16. Behold, the seventh era is at hand, or has begun. Your Creator commands you to change from a carnivorous man of contention to an herbivorous man of peace. So here, the Owaspy is saying that the Creator wants you to become herbivorous, not feasting on the fleshly animals. This is a commandment from the Creator in this dispensation of time, that He requires humanity to live on an herbivorous diet. I just heard somebody jump in. Let me see what this is real quick. We got the Prince. Let's see what the Prince talking about. We got the Prince. What's good, Prince? Talk to me.
Bless up. What's going on, big brother? How you feeling, man?
Hey, man, what's the word, Joe? What's the word? What's the vibe?
Man, I just wanted to chime in and say how excellent of a job my big brother Cosmine did yesterday, breaking that down, dropping them right bombs.
Yes,
man,
sir.
that was an excellent presentation yesterday. You didn't see the beginning of it.
Nah,
you came a little late.
Yeah, I caught the tail end, so I went back this morning to watch some of it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was gonna say, you gotta get that.
Yeah. I'm at the part where he's talking about the black community and the black man, and making a cross comparison. So that's very, very, very enlightening to show the fairness of Owaspy. You can't say nothing now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was excellent, man. I love how he brought out how everybody is included and not excluded. Which, hold on, Javier. I'm over here sharpening pencils with this thing. But yeah, man, just to show the equality of how Owaspy. Hold on, guys. Be quiet. Oh, you want to sharpen it? You can sharpen it. Hold on, big bro. Hold on, real quick.
No, you good, yo. Do your thing, man. Yeah, the brother Cosmon Cal laid down an excellent presentation, showed basically, you know what I mean, the equality of the Owaspy. You know what I mean? So that's ammunition for us in the debate. Anybody bring up colonization, the fairness, the inequality, or the racism, we'll just hit them with what Cosmo hit them with. You know what I mean? That's going to level the playing ground. That's one thing we good at doing over here is leveling the playing ground. So whatever you try to spew at us, we go level that shit flat right out. You know what I mean? We're going to bring it right back home to you. The colonizer, we're going to bring the colonizer right back home to you. Injustice and equality, we're going to bring it right back home to you. And not only are we going to bring it back home to you, we're going to show you that, nigga, you started this shit for all the other nations to follow suit. If you colonize your own people, you gave the idea to the other nations to follow suit. See that? If you got your hand in warfare, you gave the other nations the idea to follow suit. So like I said, we're going to always level the playing ground. Always. You know what I mean? So until the Prince come back, let me see here. Boom. I was going in on the diet. So basically in Owaspy, chapter 1, verse 16, the Creator is commanding us to change from a carnivore to an herbivore. You know what I mean? So most of us who deal with the Owaspi, the hardcore inner circle is dealing with this diet. You know what I mean? This dietary law. I was already on the vegetarian shit before Owaspi, but this information for me just solidified that this is dealing with the higher light, because most conscious people do not even consider their diet. Most conscious people who claim to be conscious eat meat. And I'm not knocking you for it. But here, if we're talking about purity and holiness, then we got to talk about diet as well. Hold on one second, family. That's family there. All right, so yeah. So coming back, the Creator commanded you to become herbivores in this dispensation of time. Now, like I said, it's a lot of people who claim to be conscious, but they won't consider letting go of the flesh. So you can speak the philosophy of knowledge and the literature of knowledge, but when it comes down to actually, you know what I mean, changing your diet, that is a problem with a lot of people. A lot of people will fight you if you talk about their diet. You know, a lot of brothers like chicken. How many Israelites you know that eat chicken? How many Israelites will go to Leviticus to say, look, see, that's how the chicken is cooking the flour and this, that, and the third to justify them continually eating chicken? So just imagine you come across the Owaspi and the Owaspi is telling you to change your diet from carnivores, no more chicken, to an herbivorous man of peace. And notice it says carnivorous man of contention, because a carnivorous diet produces contention and contention attitude. Because if you look at any animal that eats flesh, it's contention, it's anger. It's a lot going on just for eating. For a lion, look when a lion eat, how ferocious they got to get. But when you look at the herbivorous animal, when you look at the zebra eating and the giraffe eating, they at peace. They're not warring for their food. They're at peace eating. But when you look at the lion, look at the face of the lion when he's eating, ferocious. The face of fear, the face of contention. So the Owaspi is showing you that your diet has to do with your spirituality, your expression of your being. Right? So most people don't consider the dietary aspect. They overlook it. They knock it to the side. They acting like, you know what I mean, it's not important when it's the most important thing. The diet is the most important thing. That's the first rule. Now look, when we go to the book of Cosmogony and Prophecy, 9:10, look what this say. For man, herb food cultivate the negative condition. The negative condition is alkaline. But flesh food, meaning meat, your favorite chicken, increases the positive. What is the positive? Acid. Here's the example right here. Which is to say, look what Owaspi is telling you. Flesh food, meaning meat, a carnivorous diet, carries man away from prophecy, away from spirituality. The more flesh you eat, you are disconnecting yourself from the purity of the spiritual realm. See that? And that's just based off your diet. We're not even talking about literature and having an understanding of knowledge or a knowing of things. Knowing something is one thing. But having a connection spiritually in communion with the ancestors that's already in that pure state, you gotta reach their purity. Their purity requires for humans to sustain on fruits and vegetables. And then you'll attract the pure angels, the pure ancestors. But if you're eating meat, it's going to be contentious. You're going to attract contentious angels and ancestors. And you wonder why you can't understand the higher light, because you're bound in darkness based off your diet. What up, Prince?
Oh, man, I'm back, man. I was just thinking about what you're talking about the diet being the first law, and it's a trip that even like people who are coming up out of Christianity and other false religions or following false deity, even in their text or in like say like the Nazarene text or the Book of Barnabas, it talks about the diet. Even in the Bible, it talks about the diet, even though it's something that's it's kind of skewed the way it's presented by the false deity.
Right.
But my point is that diet is an important part of all religions and all like ritualistic living.
Exactly. It's universal because being the species, the human species, the Homo sapiens sapien as they classify us, you know what I mean? It's the proof is in the blood
Right.
because the blood is alkaline. It's 7.34. So right here on this chart, you see 7 is neutral. So your
Hmm.
blood is neutral and it falls on the alkaline side. Acidity starts from 0 to 6. So if God made if the creator made your blood acidic, the range, the pH of your blood would be anywhere from 6 going back. But the creator made your blood 7.
Right.
So 7 falls on the alkaline side. Water is neutral. Water is alkaline. And the 7.34. So that means all foods and liquids going into your body should resonate on the alkaline side. All fruits, majority of fruits, you know what I mean, are on the alkaline side. You have some acidic fruits, you know what I mean? But just on a basis level.
But as soon as you put meat, which is the most highly acidic thing you can eat, into your body, it starts to show in the blood, and it starts to coagulate, and things come, about that are labeled diseases as, they
Right.
call.
Well, exactly. That's what's called the clotting and the circulation, slowing down of the circulation. You know, your blood is circulating
Yeah.
at a certain speed. So meat,
Yeshua went in on that in the Nazarene scene text. He was
facts.
talking about how eating flesh makes your breath stain. It makes your blood coagulate. You get slow, thick running blood and mucus and all kind of. I was
That's
like,
actual
dang, Yeshua, he
facts.
going in on that diet, boy. He was trying to get them Negroes to understand something.
Right. Because if the temple is clogged up, how you gonna be able to tap in spiritually? You got to get the
Mhm.
body right first. See, that's what a lot of brothers don't understand. They think that, reciting the literature or reading the knowledge or having the knowledge of whatever it is that they're studying is the way. But no, it's the purification of the body, the actual living organism. And you know how much better you feel if you let go of that fleshly diet and come to an herbivore's diet?
Man, you feel so much better. I'm talking about emotionally, mentally, spiritually. Everything balances out, and you start to realize how the energy you've been using for a long time wasn't the best way of exerting your spirit, because there's so many higher vibrations. Literally, the fruits and vegetables that we're eating are vibrating at a higher frequency, way higher frequency than the meats, the thick, dense, dead animal flesh. You see what I'm saying? So, but a
Exactly.
lot
And
of
not
people
only
are so. Go
go
ahead.
ahead, Prince. No, go ahead, Prince.
I'm saying a lot of people are just so used to it that they call it like they got the itis still, and it's hard for them to get off. But once you try it, you know what I'm saying, and you test the information and you actually let it kind of resonate with you for a while. You got to walk with it. It takes time, but I've
Right,
been off meat for now like 4 years.
right.
I ain't touched no flesh to my mouth in about 4 years. So I feel way better than I did. I was way heavier, way bulkier. Now I can still fight if I need to. I'm still quick. I'm still agile. I'm like, you know, I just feel better overall. I just got some herbs. Shout out to Yaki. I just got them 3 bitters. I've been rocking them back for the last week.
Big facts. Shout out to
So,
the Kajaki out here enlightening the people with the health. You know what I mean?
right.
So it's like we playing on the highs and the lows from the spiritual realm, dealing with spirituality, and dealing with the physical. But you got to get the physical right first. That's the first law. Purify your body. Without that, you can have all the knowledge in the world, but purifying the body is key.
Mhm. Yeah, man, that shit no joke. And like the creator said, it brings you a higher sense of peace. Peace it's a spirit. So the angels that are higher raised, they can be attracted to your level of peace that you can exude. or your level of patience, or your level of tranquility, whatever it is that's bringing you to do good for somebody else in that positive state, the angels can come and assist you in that when you vibrating on that frequency, because that's where they at. They vibrating at that level. You see what I'm saying? So when you literally put, I don't know, it's deep. Like, people don't take diet as serious as they should. They know, I feel like, people know I got to do better because I want to lose weight, or I got to do better because I don't want to be sick. But they don't really know how much the Creator said, I want you to be an herbivorous man of peace, meaning within your body and within your mind, you have a level that you can always be chill. You can always chill out. You can always relax and think and do, in order to do some more good, recuperate, heal, all of that stuff. It comes, even learning. You can't learn in a state of chaos. You know what I mean? You can, but it may not be the best, method. Peace is always the highest light.
Right. Exactly.
So that's what the Creator was trying to create as a balance in Cosmon, is a higher sense of just having peace. Like, we've been going to war, niggas been getting scandals going on. It's all kind of, crazy shit going on in ooze in the lower heaven. So we down here just trying to find a little bit of peace. Creator say, hey man, one thing you can do, change your diet real quick.
Exactly. That's the easiest thing you could do.
The easiest. But
that's a self-controlled thing. So by the Creator even testing man by saying, testing humans by saying, all right, I want you to change your diet to this. So for those who do have a carnivorous diet, that's an internal fight within each individual who's eating flesh. That's internal.
Right.
That's subjective.
Ooh-wee.
Self-conviction. The Creator created self-conviction for the carnivore to make a rational decision to either change your diet and live, or continue to eat the carnivorous diet and then catch, because sickness and disease is going to harbor eventually.
Right.
Unless you have an understanding of really, your herbs and your vegetables as a carnivore. But a lot of carnivores, I know carnivores don't even eat vegetables. So I'm like, nigga, you want to get up out of here.
Yeah, so it sparks that self-control just to begin to make that choice, which is the Creator giving you liberty to choose. But the thing is to have the understanding of, what it's going to produce. A lot of people, some people, sadly, they so, caught up on the flesh diet that they don't even care. They're like, I'm gonna die sometime. It's crazy.
Exactly, they're not considering it. They don't even look into it.
Yeah, even in the Bible, Isaiah said, my people die from a lack of knowledge.
See that?
Because you don't know, and then you start to not care because you're being lazy.
So here on the screen is a reference, a source where an article it talks about the blood, and it's giving you the pH of the blood. It said blood is normally slightly basic, alkaline, with a normal pH range about 7.3 to 7.45. So there you go right there. The blood is alkaline. So if the blood is alkaline, the food should be alkaline.
Easy word.
In order to maintain a healthy body. But the body is a magnificent mechanism. It's a magnificent organ. It could withstand a lot. You got people with poor diets, and the body is still maintaining this function under those
I know a lot
conditions.
I know a lot of people like that. You're still walking. You don't drink nothing but soda every day, but you're still moving.
Now look at this. Here's another article. Right? It says, although the pH of the blood ranges from 7.35 to 7.45, the pH of other body fluids is different. pH indicates the level of hydrogen potential ions, where low pH indicates too many hydrogen ions, and a high pH indicates too many hydrogen ions. Now listen to this. If the pH levels drop below 6.9, it can lead to a coma. If your blood drops below 6.9, nigga, you can slip into a coma. That's how dangerous and detrimental it is for you to keep your pH of your blood in the alkaline state. Because if it drops to an acidic state and it drops below 6.9, nigga, you slipping into a coma.
Mm-hmm.
This is actual facts. So the Waspi's letting you know that become herbivores, because if you continue with these carnivorous ways, because look, like especially today, it ain't like back in the day when you ate meat like once a week or twice a week. You had to go kill the meat, and nigga, we got restaurants that could serve 24/7 around the clock. You know what I mean? I can go get me a steak 10 times a day if I wanted to. So the detriment is serious in the America, especially in the Americas.
It's detrimental to that, to some of these, a lot of these brews doing Passover and all this, and just people, Christians claiming the God said you could eat meat, right? It's detrimental that your God lied to you all so cold-blooded about that, because now it's a question that you're gonna have to raise within yourself about, why your God lied to you and didn't tell you this. This in Oaspi. Creator said in Oaspi to us, hey man, eat some herbs. Be peaceful. Your God said, go eat some meat. And the crazy part about it is Barnabas and them, like the true disciples of Yeshua's brothers, they was all Nazarenes. They didn't eat no meat.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly. They were Nazarene facts. Nazarene saints.
They lied on Moses too. They said Moses told them to eat that food like that, them animals like that. But in the book of Barnabas, chapter 10, it say that Moses wasn't even talking about eating nothing, like actually killing an animal.
You're talking about the spiritual significance of the law, the clean and unclean meat. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yup. They were showing the spiritual significance of the characteristics of animals as human behavior described as clean and unclean meat. And they took that as being literal for those who didn't have a higher light. They didn't have a higher light, man. So even your God lied on Moses. Why are you lying on Moses? Moses didn't tell nobody to eat no chicken. And that got to revert back to Ezra. That got to revert back to Ezra, because he's the one responsible for giving us the story of Moses as we know it today. Come on now. Mumble mouth prophets sipping on gin and juice. No, I'm playing. All right, check this out. Check this out. In the Oaspi, in the Book of Inspiration, chapter 12, verse 10 and 11, it states, right. If you will be gentle like a lamb and non-resistant and docile, and so you can obtain great knowledge. Key point, obtain great knowledge. Feed upon herbs, fruits, and cereal. See, niggas never would expect to obtain great knowledge. You got to do with your diet. Come on now. But look what verse 11 says. And your blood shall be pure and cool and charged with food for your spirit in peace and love. So your food charges your spirit. Now look, it says your blood shall be pure and cool. Is there any relevance to that fact right there about blood being cool based off of a fruit diet? Now look what it says. Body cooling fruits. Some fruits that act as the best body cooling foods are berries. As per Chinese medicine, berries are alkaline, which generate what? Cold energy, cooling down the body's temperature. See that? So that's an article backing the fact that when Oaspi states that based off your diet of fruits, herbs, and cereals, your blood will be pure and cool, cool being the key point word here, we pull up an article backing the fact that berries are alkaline and can cool down the body's temperature with the cold generated energy. What are we talking about here, Prince? See, and that's another thing too, man. Like, you gotta have been a hot-headed type of nigga like me back in the day to even know the difference between the hot-blooded man and a cool-blooded man. I can feel the difference in my blood as I, subjectively, obviously, but I know better now. When I used to eat meat, nigga, I was always riling up easily. You know what I mean? And so now I can feel like, oh, no, man, I'm not going to do that. Or whatever, the situation, even if I'm just dealing in conversation. It's a different feeling. It's a different charge, like you say, in the blood. Yeah. You can objectively and subjectively observe it. See, when I was coming up, nigga, my mother Caribbean, so I'm getting all the food stuff. I'm getting stuff that my friends ain't getting. They don't know about the shit I'm growing up on. So it's like
Right.
when we used to go play, I'm out there out running niggas, I'm out there out flipping niggas, I'm overpowering niggas in football. You know what I mean? I'm overly strong as a young nigga. I'm like 10, 11, overly strong. And they're like, damn, nigga, like, where you get this energy from? Now I look back, I'm like, damn, my mother was feeding me this. But at the time, as you're young, you don't know. You don't know. You know what I mean?
Hey, let me say this, man, because that's crazy you mentioned that, because I remember one specific day, man, when I was like, I had to be like 11 or 12 years old. I remember this shit like it was last week. My mom had took me to football practice one day, and we stopped by McDonald's and grabbed a cheeseburger and a Coke and some fries. And I scarfed it down before practice, and I went out there to run. Bro, I was having the worst practice ever, cramping, blurred vision, can't breathe right, bro. It was all kind of crazy stuff going on. My coach was like, "You good? What's wrong with you?" I'm like, "I don't know." The next day, my grandma took me to practice, and she gave me a peanut butter sandwich and 2 green apples. Nigga, I was out there so focused and running and over jumping, nigga. My muscles was all lit up and on fire, bro. I was all yoked looking. I was like, damn. And at that moment, at 11 years old or 12 years old, however old I was, I realized that it was because I ate the McDonald's, the fast food before I went to practice. So after that, my stomach and everything, I just knew from then on out, like when I go to practice, I'm gonna eat some fruit before I go and some banana or something.
Exactly. Your diet got everything to do, especially if you're an athlete, man. Your diet got everything to do with what you're doing. You know what I mean? A real serious athlete is going to be on his fruits and vegetables and the salads and shit. And he's going to be wary of the meats. He's not going to go too heavy on the meats because
unless like Owaspi said, he's trying to be Tyson. Now, if you want to be Mike Tyson,
if you're trying to knock a nigga head off of some fighting shit,
go ahead and get you some bison if you want to be like Tyson. But nah, man. But it don't have to be that though. But that's what ends up being the produce of that.
Now check out this. Here go another article backing the fact that, you know what I mean, how beneficial fruits are. It says, what are 5 benefits of eating fruits? A diet rich in vegetables and fruits can lower blood pressure, reduce the risk of heart disease and stroke, prevent some types of cancers, lower risk of eye and digestive problems, and have a positive effect upon blood sugar. So these are benefits. The creator is saying become herbivores, become a fruitarian so you could live, nigga. Because if not, you can eat that carnivorous diet, nigga, you gonna die slowly. You die slowly already. You know what I mean? It's a
he wants you to live, nigga. What?
Yeah, we trying to help you to live. See, y'all mad at the creator gang and the Owaspi, but we're giving back life. You know what I mean? Like we're telling you, the creator wants us to change from a carnivorous man of contention, a woman, and a child of contention, to an herbivorous man, woman, and child of peace.
Right. Your book don't say that. No other book in the whole world says that. Well, there are books that talk about diet, but not and show you how and what purpose and for what. And you can see it objectively in society. Like you can feel it in the air, man. If you know, I don't know. I guess those of us who can, creator speaks in different ways, but I can feel it in the air.
Yeah, me too. I'm an air sign anyway, and I can pick that shit.
I'm a Gemini.
Yeah, I can pick a freak. I can pick up when there's tension in the air. If I'm out somewhere, I could pick up on shit. All right, let me get the hell up out of here. I can feel something. Exactly. You know what I mean? So definitely, it's definitely a vibe in the air. You know what I'm saying?
It's been like this since. Well, I'm kind of young. I'm only 36, so my experience with happened around started. Well, I guess it's been around for a while. Looking back in my mind's eye now, but there's always been a movement, so to speak, or a bunch of fads that have to do with health and diet every few years. Especially if you've been an athlete, you kind of see those things come across your feeds or whatnot. Right. But even before the feeds, I could just tell, like, dang, it's gyms popping up in my city everywhere. Mm-hmm. Everywhere, it's a gym on every block. Everybody's selling, fruit juices and talking about herbs and stuff. And my wife became a holistic, or my fiance, she's a holistic chef now. She graduated with honors the other day.
That's a blessing. That's what's up, King.
Yeah, man, that's all cool. So I can see how the creator's inspiration is already falling upon Tate, or the whole of humanity, to move to that direction. You can see that objectively. So
you can see the shift in motion right now. Facts. Mm-hmm. Even out here, it's a lot of vegan restaurants opening up left and right. Out here.
I told her, "You gonna hop on it, man? Because we already don't eat, and we've been, she been listening to me talk about this for a while. We've been talking about this for a minute. So I said, all we're gonna do is start making meal prepping, helping people, whoever want to transition.
Right, big facts.
Man, put that money to some use. But yeah.
So even here in the Book of Inspiration 12:12, dealing with the meat eaters, it states, but if you will be ferocious like a carnivorous beast, then you shall feed upon flesh and fish, and your blood shall be hot, and your spirit shall be stirred with passion, anger, contention, tattling, war, jealousy, and the love of vengeance. So all that comes with the carnivorous diet. All those
that last one though. That last one.
Vengeance. See that?
Woo-wee. Nigga, man.
You would never think that would come from your diet.
Revenge is like the sweetest joy, boy.
See that? And then look at this. When we look up the definition of inflammation, look what it says: a localized physical condition in which part of the body becomes redness, swollen, or what? Hot. Hot. Just like the verse states in the Owaspi, your blood shall be hot. It'll be inflamed. And if your blood is inflamed, that means it's falling on the acidic side. It's neutralizing your 7.34 alkaline range and diminishing it down to now 7.0. And if that shit hits 6.9 or below, nigga, your ass in a coma. Go ahead, King.
I got a question. What's the pH of a piece of an average piece of steak? Just curious.
Meat usually falls around 4.
Okay, so we're supposed to be at 7.
Yeah, it's still acidic. You know what I mean? Like the real danger of acidity starts from like 3, 2. That's where you get your battery acid. Battery acid is 0. Soda and coffee is 1 and soda and coffee is between 1 and 3. That's how acidic coffee and soda is. That's why people who be drinking coffee, I be trying to tell them like, I don't know if y'all want to, because that shit is stripping the negative ions in the blood, stripping your negative ions, it's creating your blood to be hot.
Right.
Acidic.
A lot of times people who drink a lot of coffee, strong coffee, they be jittery. It's
stripping them. They're gonna be tired a lot too. That's why they drink. They're chasing a high. You know what I'm saying?
That's interesting. But yeah, on a 4. So the meat is a 4, generally speaking.
Exactly.
Okay. Man, Cosmon did a great job yesterday answering that boy's questions, man. I don't know why I just thought about that right now.
Too. He just tapped
Shout out to Big Bro Cos, man. That was an excellent presentation.
Chili. Big facts.
All y'all did excellent, man. Selah, you came in there throwing jabs, boy.
See, I came in late, nigga. I didn't know what was going on. So,
man,
I'm hearing these niggas talk like they still. I'm like, this nigga. This is after the election, I know. So I'm like, nigga, y'all should be asking better questions. Y'all should be more inquisitive and pinpointing certain subject matters.
Hold on, real quick. Hello.
Yeah.
Hold on real quick. I gotta mute my mic. Hold on.
What say, Doctor? Carnivores usually get mad when you say that you are playing. Yeah, they get hostile, they get defensive. You know what I mean? They feel like, oh, you know what I mean? That should be crazy. Yeah, let me see. See if I can do that real quick. Yeah, I'm gonna put the link in the chat for the presentation Cosmon did yesterday. Yeah, let me get that. Here go the link right here to the presentation that Cosmon did yesterday. I dropped it in the chat. Y'all make sure to definitely check that out. You know what I mean? Tap on it. Lock it in. So now look, does your diet affect your behavior? That's what we're talking about, right? It is well known that unhealthy eating patterns can cause mood swings. So the answer is yes. Blood sugar fluctuates and nutritional imbalances are often to blame. See that? So it's your diet. Without a steady source of fuel from the foods we eat, our mind and bodies do not function well. So when we go back up in the Owaspy, and it talks about right here, the mood swings of your behavior. If you'll be gentle like a lamb, non-resistant, eat off fruits and herbs, and then it says your blood shall be pure and cool. So that comes with a certain behavior. And then look, hold up. Yeah, so then when we come here, it says, look, if you feast on the flesh, your blood gonna be hot. But look at the behavior pattern that come with it. Passion and anger, contention, jealousy, warlike, love of vengeance. Those are mood swings based off your diet. And here's an article backing the fact that your diet affects your behavior. It is well known that an unhealthy eating pattern can cause mood swings. See that? Many clinical trials have shown that red meat increases blood pressure and is linked with hypertension. See that? So this ain't nothing new. These are known facts about a carnivore's diet. Can create hypertension, blood pressure, and all that, high blood pressure, and all that. During inflammation, the drop in pH is a result of infiltration and activation of inflammatory cells in tissues. See that? Keyword inflammatory. Look at this, Book of Inspiration, chapter 12, verse 13. For whatever you charge your blood with shall be charged upon your spirit. See that? So if your blood is charged with fruits and vegetables, your spirit is going to be charged with that also. Likewise with flesh. From your own blood, your spirit shall be inspired, even according to what your blood contains. What does your blood contain? Does it contain the mucus and acid of dead animals? Or does it contain the nutrients of fruits and herbs and grains and cereals? Where you at with it? Maybe this is why some of y'all can't comprehend the higher light, or can't comprehend the wasp, don't understand it. Or you're stuck in your tattling and funny ways, thinking everything is a joke. From your own blood, your spirit shall be inspired. Right? So if you eating chickens, you're going to act like a chicken. If you eating steak, you're going to act like a cow. If you eating fish, you're going to flap like a fish. Whatever you eat, your blood is going to be charged with, and that's going to charge your spirit. Whatever your food contains is going to be contained in your blood. And verse 19 states what? It is the contamination of the blood of man by carnivorous food upon which you shall ponder. You wonder why some people can't get it right? You can't blame it's the blood. They don't. Their blood is not pure. They can't comprehend because their brain is not circulating blood properly right. You're backwards. You're going backwards. It is the contamination of the blood of man by carnivorous foods. Look at that. That's a strong statement. Here's the circulatory system. This is the circulation of the blood throughout your body. If this gets contaminated, it's over for you. The blood is the life force of the body. The blood is the only organ, the only system that distributes oxygen, nutrients to all the organs. See that? Look at the lungs. The blood supply oxygen to the lungs, to the kidneys, the spleen, all that. Every organ. Only the blood do that. The brain, only the blood do that. See that? The kidney can't do nothing to the brain. There's no association to it. But the blood is the only system that is associated with all organs throughout your body. So if the blood is contaminated, guess what? Slowly all the organs will become contaminated because the oxygen feeding the organs is contaminated. And that's going to create inflammation to the organs. And then the organs will start to dehydrate, and that's what you call a slow death. Dehydration of the organs is death. That's why the Creator said, stay away from the carnivore's diet, because you're slowly contaminating your blood. You're slowly creating inflammation in your blood, which in return is going to dehydrate all your organs, even your brain. The food you eat creates so much inflammation in your blood, you will start dehydrating. When your brain starts dehydrating, you're going to get dementia, Alzheimer's, things of that nature. Dehydration of the brain. Creator not playing, man. Creator is not playing. What did this verse say again? It hit different now. For whatever you charge your blood with shall be charged upon your spirit. From your own blood, your spirit shall be inspired, even according to what your blood contains. It is the contamination of the blood upon man by carnivorous food, which you shall ponder. See that? Can meat cause inflammation? Meat and saturated fats. Some meats are high in fat, especially saturated fat. Eating a lot of saturated fat can rise cholesterol levels in the blood. And having high cholesterol raises your risk of what? Corneal heart disease. How corneal heart disease looks? This is how corneal heart disease looks. And what do we see right here? Fatty deposits. You know what these fatty deposits is? It's inflammation and it's mucus hardened. That's what that is. Hardened mucus. Now look where it is on your heart. That's your artery right there. Artery carries blood away from the heart. So you're going to have a hard time. Your heart going to be having a hard time pumping, carrying blood away from the heart if your goddamn arteries is plaqued up like this, based off what you're diet. That's the fat. That's meat. Fat backed up in your blood. The breakdown of meat juices, fat, oils, mucus buildup in your blood. That comes from that carnivorous diet. That comes from that right there. See that? So look, coronary heart disease, right here. The reduction of blood flow to the heart muscle due to buildup of what? Atherosclerotic plaque in the arteries of the heart. See that? Plaque. Dried up mucus. What causes inflammation in the blood? For instance, inflammation in the blood vessels have happened when a waxy substance called plaque builds up inside the walls of the arteries. This waxy substance is mucus. Dried up, hardened mucus. Now look, Book of Inspiration, chapter 12, verse 20. I created all the living so that like would attract like. Whoever makes himself carnivorous cannot escape conflict and contention within his own members, soul and body. See that? Your carnivorous diet is creating an internal battle with your members, your organs, what I just described. Inflammation in the blood causes your organs to dehydrate. Now they're struggling to operate and function properly, which in return has an effect on your soul, effect on your emotions. What's going on with me? Why I'm feeling like this? That's the effect on your soul it has, based off the breaking down of your organs. But look, nonetheless, Book of Inspiration, chapter 13, verse 8. Liberty, freedom, I give you as to whether you would eat herbs or flesh. So right here, he's like, I'm giving you the freedom. I ain't going to put it on me. You know what I mean? But I'm going to let you choose. Although I say follow these ways, you still have the choice to choose whether if you want to follow that or not. I command you to become herbivorous, but you still have the liberty to choose. Liberty I gave as to whether you would eat herbs or flesh. Verse 10. To you I gave liberty to make yourselves carnivores, herbivores, or omnivores. So you have a choice. But look what this say. Look at this. Verse 14. Because you made yourself carnivores, the fault is your own. I placed before you the herbivorous animals and the carnivorous animals, and I gave you eyes to look upon them regarding their behavior. Key point, behavior. Whether ferocious and destructive or peaceful, patient, and docile. So now when you look at the animal, like I was saying earlier, here's pictures of herbivorous animals eating. And here you have a picture of a carnivorous animal eating. Now, when you look at the lion, you can see the contention, the anger, the in the lion. But when you look at the herbivores, they're in peace, non-resistant when they're eating, at peace. So now, the Creator states this. Look, I spoke to your soul saying, look and judge for yourself as to what you shall eat. Observe the order of my creation and the result upon all the living creatures. So the Creator is saying, you make the choice. If you want to be a carnivore, that's how you're going to be. Contentious, blood hot, feisty, and fighting, and warlike. Or you can be an herbivore, man of peace. You know what I mean? And this has to do with your spiritual ascension. Your diet has to do with your spiritual ascension. Let's see if we can find that. See, look, right here, your spiritual ascension got all to do with it. Book of Jehovah, chapter 4, verse 10. As I made a limit to the ascent of clouds, so I made a limit to the places of different kinds of substance in the atmospheric worlds. The more subtle and potent, to the rim. The more dense and impotent, nearer to the earth, meaning the more impure smells of atmosphere closer to the earth. The more higher quality, pure smells of aromas are higher up in the atmosphere. See that? Purity and impurity realms or levels. According to the condition of these different plateaus in atmosphere, whether they be near the earth, where impurity reside, or high above, where purity reside, so shall the spirit of man take its place in the first resurrection. So your spirit is going to take place in the first resurrection on a low level or a high level, based off what? According to his what? Diet, desires, and behavior. Now remember, the diet, the desires and behaviors are part and partial based off your diet. Your diet is going to determine your desires and behaviors. So if you're carnivorous, your desires and behaviors are going to be more on a lower vibration, a lower frequency, near to the earth when you cross over. But if you're on an herbivorous diet, your desires and behavior are going to be more in a higher realm, high above on your transition. And look what it states. so shall he dwell in spirit on the plateau to which he has adapted himself during his earth life. So you are in full liberty of your own person, determining based off your diet where you will be when you cross over. You're going to be in the impure realm, in the pure realm. Your diet is going to dictate your desires and your behaviors. See that? Mm-hmm. So don't think that the diet is not important. It definitely is. You know what I mean? Yes, family. There is. Salute to the righteous God. We got Malachi Maccabee in the building. What it do, King? Talk to me. You on mute, God. All right, cool. Yeah. Peace to the righteous God, Prince in the building, back at it.
Peace. You feel me?
Yeah, it was good, King.
All right, that's all good. We out here taking a little walk.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I just came from the park my dang, so welcome, dog. You know what I mean? Get that sunlight and get that light.
Man, gotta get it, man. Them light bombs like Cosmo was throwing last night. We need to get all of those.
Bro.
I'm gonna keep
And all
going
that
back
was
to that.
practical right there, man.
Man, that was such a good exposition of that text.
Yeah,
But
big facts. And that shows you the range that we can go. You know what I mean? We don't always have to, deal with the God topic. We can deal with our personal struggles and conditions, what's going on now, and tie it in with the Owaspi. You know what I'm saying?
right, it's relevant to today, right now. That's what Cosmo means. Today, balance.
Exactly.
And it's bringing even the whole diet. There's a balance that Creator is putting in the earth.
Big
I think
fact.
we gotta be more peaceful, man, because we didn't came through so much turbulence and turmoil, and it produced a lot of, I feel like even some good comes from turmoil and stuff like that too sometimes.
Big facts. Big facts.
But it's time for more peace, man, in the earth between our people, so that we can be free. Like, that's the whole point. You can't be in chaos and feel like that's freedom. That's a war zone. That's not peaceful. You feel what I'm saying?
But see, the crazy thing is, you have those in that environment that think that's what it is.
Right.
They think that's part of fulfilling prophecy, so they got to go through that to fulfill the prophecy of their God.
Right, like the time of Jacob's trouble.
Right, exactly. Malachi Maccabee, what's good, family?
Bless peace to the righteous God. Malik, his mic's still on mute.
Okay. Let me make sure. You're not muted over here. Let me make sure you're not muted. Unmute. Okay, boom. Wait, let me unmute.
Yo, Mike.
There you go. There he is.
There you go. There that man go.
Hold up, we went back out.
You gotta shorten his mic cord. Huh. Yeah.
Y'all heard me?
Yeah. Okay, yeah. I hear you now.
Oh. Yeah. I was saying double salute to both my brothers on the panel.
Yes,
you know what I mean? All praise to the great spirit, man. Shout out to the cloud kicker, Cosmo Kruger.
That's right.
Did his thing yesterday, and all y'all know we all talk behind the scenes. So your boy DMG has sent those questions, those multi-layered questions to Cal before he did his presentation.
Right.
He did. Cal shared it with us, and we was like, bro, let's answer right back on this. That's what we do.
Right.
You feel me? And once the concept of all people was understood, and that black people and the black community are part and parcel of all people, all the brother did was when it's reading about man and humanity and all that. He put black people in there. And the black conscious community. Boy, that was an excellent strategy. That hit like steel.
Yes, sir. Yes,
That
sir.
hit like steel yesterday, man. You know what I
Sir.
mean? So I wanna give another shout out. If y'all haven't seen, it's all in the chats that we all in. But if y'all haven't seen Kai's Mind Cal's presentation he did yesterday on Paradigm Shift TV, y'all need to go watch that. I think Selah posted in the chat. It was excellent. You know, toward the end, the bruh's gonna invade anyway.
They're gonna beat you up on it.
We invaded, but what I got out of it though is the versatility of a waspy. It's versatile. It's versatile. You know what I mean? And it's applied universally, no matter your phenotype, your concentrated forms of melanin, how nappy or not nappy your hair is, whether you speak Portuguese, geese, English, whatever your ethnicity, whatever your economic situation, bro, everybody is in a position to do something good and serve the creator. Everybody. You know what I mean? So and what I got out of that was when Cal was done, did y'all notice it was only 3 people that hopped up there, right? You got Jose Francis, a Kemet guy, Egyptologist. You had the captain of the UPK in St. Louis, which he was sounding like he was on slow gas. And then you had Shekinah Rock. Do y'all realize nobody that got up there rebutted nothing Cal brought out?
They ran.
Nobody.
They ran from every single statement.
Nobody. Your boy from the UPK said this is just stupid. I think the response is stupid in the presentation. That's all he had. He didn't have nothing for it. Jose Francis said, oh, I don't believe the book. Cal said, well, that's your prerogative. You ain't gotta believe it. It's not historical. Again, saying things but not proving it. He ain't proved nothing. He ain't proved nothing. You see what I'm saying? And then Shekinah Ra got on there and somehow took the topic to slavery. Even though Cal went and read what happens to slave master. You see what I'm saying? So there was what y'all saw last night was intellect and spirituality at its highest level coming from Cal. What he did when he focused in, he shut that shit down. You know what I mean? And what you notice is the naysayers who was popping it in the chat didn't get on. And the ones that did get on didn't have nothing for him.
Not at all.
They didn't have nothing for him, bro. You know what I mean?
Hey, they have nothing when we started throwing shots at them boys.
No. Let alone
you talk about the backdating, and I'm over here talking about niggas show me a nigga Hebrew Israelite upholding Torah. Niggas ain't have nothing.
Nigga ain't got it. You'd have thought the Captain 10K would have been like, oh yeah, I thought at least I'd have gave him King James. Say King James is up. Because I mean that history is up in the earth. Whether that's true or not. He at least could have tried that and we would have walked him down. Right. He got walked down regardless. You know what I mean? But at least nigga try. Throw a punch or something. Nigga ain't throw a punch. He got on here and you're stupid and Huckleberry Finn is fake and it's stupid and why she is so stupid. And then though a waspy and it's saying the books include a waspy, so why are we reading out of a waspy? It's just stupid. White supremacy at its highest. I'm like, bro, this is all y'all got, and y'all trying to hype a debate up with one of us with this slow nigga?
And that's what I came on. That's what I came on hearing. That's what I'm like. No, I came on after the whole joint, so I'm expecting niggas to be engaging in the conversation of the subject matter.
Nah,
over here talking, doing what they normally do off the subject matter.
Man, the floodgates got open. DMG dropped the link for everybody to hop on at least 3 or 4 times. Bro, all you got is Shekinah Ra, who hurried up and bailed out. You know what I mean? Salute to the sister. I ain't talking bad about her, but she look, her first words was, y'all please don't beat me up. So she already knew she was over there with killer whales. She tried to say something about slavery, which made 0 sense. I'm just keeping it real with you. It ain't make no sense what you were saying. Based off what Cal was saying, what you came and was trying to say didn't make sense. right? She
So
hurried up and
that's
got
when
up
she
off
wasn't
there.
paying attention.
Yeah. She hurried up and got up off there. And Jose Francis and your captain, DeGaulle from the UPK in St. Louis. And nobody had no type of intellectual rebuttal, none of it. DMG kept saying, this reminds me of black, how you say that? Existentialisms.
Existentialist. Yeah. I heard when he said that to Cal.
He said it about 5 times that night.
See that?
You see what I'm saying?
Facts.
So, nah, man, Cal did an excellent job. And what y'all saw is the versatility of a Waspi. What y'all saw is the people who had the spiritual fortitude of a damn squirrel to hop on and challenge anything didn't have the intellect to challenge it.
Facts.
Didn't have the intellect to challenge it. And what you saw was the host DMGs resonate with what we was bringing out. He resonated with it. He was like, oh, okay. And these boys want to smoke.
Yeah. Big facts.
Yeah. That's what it is. You know what I mean?
So now they can't use that race card again no more. You know what I'm saying? We just pull up those chapters and verses showing, look at the quality and the inequality of what the book is saying about the black community and the black man. That's there forever now. And not only that, nigga, niggas, we gonna add on top of that with other parts of the verses with the black community and the black man. If y'all want to play, the blackity black game.
Yeah. I mean, that's played out. That's played out. That's what I'm saying. It's like the arguments about slavery and racism and all that shit got to take a back seat. It's fizzling out. The whole stronghold dealing with racism and bigotry and all that, y'all. I don't know if you're paying attention. You feel me? It's fizzling out. It don't got the same power it had 10 years ago, 20 years ago. You know what I mean?
Just like the same narrative have been in the late 80s, early 90s, when it was the black man, white blame, you blame the white man for everything for your conditions. See, because the white man, that was a hot topic at one point when that shit was working. Nigga, that shit don't work today. How many niggas out here getting paper and getting money, and you over there talking about the white man still? That shit fizzled out.
Man, your boy, look, Calypto Louis Farrakhan ain't even talking about the white man, the devil, no more.
Big facts.
He needed look. The NOI is the ones that kicked that all the way off. You know what I mean? Cosmon Kruger, the cloud kicker with the Punisher hat on. Hey. They got the man. Look, what's going on, big dog?
Cosmonian, talk to us.
Man, it's the biggest, the largest, man. Shout out to the creator, man, who's ever present, man, who always was, is, and ever shall be, man. What's going on with y'all boys, man?
Man, talking about that flawless presentation you put together last night, boy, you already know.
I ain't even gonna lie. I had to tell Jaja last night. I was like, boy, that's powerful.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm gonna show it again tonight, y'all. I'm gonna go live. Cosmon Cal TV, y'all sub, like, share. We're gonna replay that. You dig what I'm talking about? That thing was heavy.
Hey, man, you was right, nigga. That shit hit different, bro. I was listening like, oh, that shit was like cutting, nigga. I was like, damn.
Mm-hmm. It was all body
that shit just opened up a can of motherfucking death worms, because I'm like, damn, okay, so anytime them niggas try to use any blackity, nigga, we got it right here. We got, and like I was telling Mally earlier, other portions of the book we could use that same tactic and validate of a shit. So it's like, nigga, y'all keep opening up a can of worms by always going around in your watch speed try to find something, and then y'all try to find something. The next you don't open up a can of worms for us to go indulge in.
Yeah, this my thing though. You dig what I'm talking about? Since they so worried about JBN, white man, the white around your lips. They so worried about this white man, right? There ain't even no proof JBN actually white. First of all, he come from French Huguenot stock, niggas, many times Sephardic Jews, converso Moors, right? That's one. Two, there ain't a real picture of JBN. There's no real picture. The closest thing we got is a lithograph. And this is in the 1860s, 1870s, 1880s. This man was a rock star. JBN was more well known than most people. Nobody knew who Tesla was, but they knew who JBN was.
Look at that. Troy.
My thing is, we know since the time of Zarathustra. Look, that's not even a real picture.
That's the only picture they got too.
That's crazy, bro. I mean,
It's not even a picture.
To Cal's point, if you saying that this man is a rock star from the mid 1800s up into his death, meaning everybody knew this cat, you mean to tell me it's only one so-called picture of this man?
Right.
There ain't no other picture of this man at all anywhere.
Look, it's the same picture over and over and over. And it's a painting. How you got a painting in the 1880s? We got cameras that's 60, 70 years old by that time. You done took pictures of the whole Civil War.
Unless they try to cover up this nigga's story and try to wipe him out, the son, I don't know what the fuck. Yo,
my thing is, you iconoclast everything else that was black. You whitewashed everything else that was good. Why you ain't do this?
It'd be different if he just was some, the regular average Joe. But I mean, if what you saying is this nigga had world renowned fame, basically, you know what I mean, was inventing shit and hit gold, struck it gold twice.
The man invented a calculator.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, so he wasn't just some chump sucker that you just sneeze at. Like, this nigga was world renowned. And if that's the case, there should be more pictures of this man.
Now look, these are pictures from the same time period he would have lived.
Look how clear they are. First of all, look how clear they are, right? You can tell the other pictures are pixelated. That means they're new. Look at JBN's picture. It's pixelated. Look at that one around here in the left, in the bottom. Right below that. Look at that. Right? Now, if you tap on the picture and blow it up, you could tell this is not even a real picture taken with a camera. It's a lithograph. Right? That's not a real picture.
And I want to know the motherfucker who did it. Who created who did the picture?
Right.
That's the thing we need to highlight right there. Who did this?
Hey, that's crazy. That's crazy. It's only one picture of this nigga, bro. Like that changed the game right there, because
that changed the whole narrative.
Anybody that's famous, especially around that time, there's multiple pictures of these niggas.
That'd be like saying, now look, see how clear it is?
Right. The clearest one out of this one is probably what?
That top left one.
Oh, yeah, that top left.
Look at the quality of the picture. Right? It's not even a picture, y'all. It's not like they took this with a camera.
That's what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not a picture from a Polaroid.
This right here. This is a picture right here.
That's a picture.
From the same time. 1880. Look at that.
This is 1880. And this.
So, okay, Cal. So when you saying ain't no real picture of him, you saying didn't know there are no surviving pictures taken with a camera of him.
Right.
Like this here.
Wow.
Not only that, that'd be like, think about this, y'all. That'd be like trying to say there's only one picture of Michael Jackson.
Right.
He was that big. He was Alan Kardec big.
Okay.
He was Harry Houdini big.
Okay, got you.
When it was time, the crazy part is,
well, they was
I was doing a little historical study. JBN was, even though he didn't go to the White House and do the reading for Lincoln, he was still in that same circle. So even the president would have known him.
Okay. So
I'm talking about Lincoln and them. I'm talking about the Lincoln time.
And they was taking pictures back then. We got the pictures. Taking pictures. So you saying that when you say there are no real pictures of them, you saying no pictures captured with no camera, even though they was taking pictures back then.
Right.
Wow. And
Exactly.
the only so-called picture of them is a damn drawing.
It's a drawing. It's a sketching.
That's what I'm saying. We need to meet the nigga.
Wow.
Where he at?
Yeah, who's the artist? We need to go run him on down.
The crazy thing about it is I got an idea because there was a guy who did the paintings for Lincoln, right? Who did the paintings for Lincoln, Robert E. Lee, all them. And what they were doing was, because descriptions of these people were given. Robert E. Lee is a black man. But yeah, the nigga that fought in the Confederate, he's a black dude. But they got him pictured as a white guy. His wife is black, right? But they got him pictured, and she very dark skinned. She darker than both of us. How they describe her?
Who you talking about?
Right. So my thing is, when you actually look up the pictures for Robert E. Lee, they show this stringy-haired white dude. So that means somebody sat down, made a whole set up a picture shoot. You dig what I'm talking about? Set a person in there, and then was able to give those pictures to the Congress, right? To the National Archives. And they documented these people, knowing well, good, and fact that them wasn't the right people. Hannibal Hamlin, the vice president for Lincoln, right? A lot of people don't know. First of all, when they picture Lincoln and Hamlin together, they call them niggers. Because why? Because Lincoln, one, is mixed Melungeon Indian blood, one, and two, Hannibal Hamlin is a black European. I mean, black as his hat. Hannibal Hamlin, black, blue, black, and he's a German. But when they write the pictures about him, and they call him swarthy, dark, well built, with dark hair, dark eyes, broad nose, and Negro features, and all that. And you dig what I'm talking about? Hold on. And then you go and look at the picture, and it's a white man. So they've been doing this stuff on purpose. Lincoln's wife is mixed. She a sister. You dig what I'm talking about? Them Washington kids that come off of his adopted son, Park Custis. You dig what I'm talking about? Park Custis, Washington, had all them nigga babies.
There's a lot of mixing going on.
Not only that, it's a lot of iconoclasm. They are whitewashing history.
Big facts.
Whitewashing it purely. You dig what I'm talking about? So in my mind, knowing good and well from the time of Zarathustra through Abraham, Brahma, Iwata, Poe, Chinese. First of all, they said the Chinese nigga.
Who that? Talk to me.
Blue, black, copper, brown, and he looked like Moses. This only 2,500 years ago, y'all. This 500 BC, 600 BC. Real Chinese was on the planet. Real Confucius was on the planet.
Right.
And they describe him looking like Cosmo.
That's crazy. That's facts, yo.
You dig what I'm saying? So we know that from Moses to Capelia to Chinese down to Yeshua, every one of them been a nigga.
Exactly.
So we're not saying that Jaja can't use who he wanted to use, and you got to remember he comes to the people who need him the most, right? He revealed that to the people who need them the most. Who could have taught black people more about being humble, being chaste, being morally excellent, and helping others in the 1880s. Huh? Couldn't nobody taught your grandmama to be good? No, she was already there. You dig what I'm saying?
Big facts.
And so we know Jaja come to the people who need it the most.
Mm-hmm.
And this is probably why, beyond the fact that he needed to get the book out and that it would, by the time it was printed, it would be too late. Niggas printing up all these thousands and thousands of books, it might have caused some issues back then. Right. But now we got an Owaspi in the White House.
I got to go see that book. It's in the Library of Congress. So that's 3 feet tall.
It's 3 feet tall.
We need to go take that trip.
Gotta go.
Matter of fact, hold up. Nigga, I'm tripping. I done been to DC several times doing film, and that shit ain't skipped my mind to go down there to the Congress trying to see that shit. Next time I go to DC, my nigga, I'm going up there to that motherfucking Congress to go see that Owaspi, yo.
They got it, too. It's a big old book.
Yeah, that shit like 3 feet come to a nigga, you know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
That's the original. That's one of the first copies.
I get why people be skeptics. I get it. You dig what I'm talking about? We ain't never seen another white boy who wasn't a charlatan lay it down like this. And then once y'all understand, them dudes like Thomas Paine and all them, Quakers and all this stuff coming from Germany and France, and you dig what I'm saying? They was niggas too.
Facts.
Huh? Many of the founding fathers of our country that they paint as white men, they're not.
Yeah.
At best, they mix. Most of the time, they blue black like me and you.
Yeah, I'm hearing all type of shit. Even the dude, man, he brought some shit up on Lincoln. Like other people talking about how Lincoln was described, and they described this nigga as black, yo, like dark skin. You know what I mean? I gotta find that. There's this one cat, man. He had brought it out, man. He had brought up several articles about how Abraham Lincoln was a dark-skinned man, yo. Articles of that day, how people described him, what they seen about the man. I was like, nigga. Yeah, family, we over here getting it in. Cosmo Kelder the Magnificent, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm just saying, my thing is, listen, they done whitewashed everything else. Why wouldn't they do some of the best stuff? Stuff that's gonna help our people, right? Why wouldn't they whitewash that? That would be the first thing you try to get your hands on.
Right.
And then don't nobody ever tell y'all, government been trying to go after JBN. Government tried to get after his daughter. Huh? They was coming at Wing. They came at Ray Palmer and them.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
That boy Louis started putting that pressure on them boys.
Why? Why are you worried about a book that ain't nobody heard about?
And then not only that, I know they couldn't understand the shit at that time. Ain't no motherfucker read that shit and digested it and comprehended all what's going on in that book as far as, you know what I mean, them boys.
Yeah, Wing Anderson was way above their pay grade. These boys, Ray Palmer, above these boys' pay grade. You dig what I'm talking about? JBN way above y'all pay grade.
Nigga Rizal is like, yo, if JBN was really black, that would be crazy.
Listen, bro, it just listen. You can't tell me Prince, a person known well worldwide, right? A person like let me give you the comparison of who JBN would have been like. He would have had the impression of Harry Houdini. Nobody, you ain't never even have to heard of Houdini before, right? You never even had to see him, but you know Houdini, a magician, right? Never seen nothing about him, right? But you know his fame precedes him.
Right.
Same thing with JBN. And I'm talking about early in the 60s, 1860s, 1870s, 1880s. He was already that guy. You got to remember, early 1850s, 60s, JBN already hit it rich in the California gold trade. 1848.
Usually, you know, motherfuckers will take pictures like, you know, oh, this nigga hit, let's take a couple pictures. Like, you know what I mean? Nothing, bro.
Come on, man. They scrubbed this man because you couldn't you can't hide all of it. So you couldn't rearrange all of it. So I'm sure they scrapped it. They just hit it. Now, would it surprise me if some of these people we looking at, they saying this, like for instance, right? If you go look up what's his name? Nat Turner.
Right.
Right. And then you go look up Frederick Douglass. It's the same dude.
The drawing and shit.
It's the picture. They got the picture, the same picture for both dudes.
That's crazy, yo.
You dig what I'm talking about? A bunch of our famous people. You dig what I'm talking about? You get back to looking in time. You look for a picture.
Right.
You dig what I'm talking about? And it's gonna show you a certain look, right? But then you go look at another famous, and it's the same face. You dig what I'm talking about? So they did a number on history.
And we need to find out who these goddamn painters is, because they the one responsible and got the motherfucking trick in the bag. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Who paid? And listen, I'm willing to guarantee you when we find out, it's gonna be a private owned company, right? A photographer type dude, but they are going to be hired by a government entity. I'm guaranteed. I'm damn near guaranteeing it, Selah. You dig what I'm talking about? I don't know for sure. I'm not saying I'm absolutely sure 100% that I'm, you know, but bro, it make too much sense. And one thing I do know is I've always known my enemy.
Big facts.
You dig what I'm talking about?
Big facts.
Houdini is well known today, right? 100 some years later, you dig what I'm talking about? They still talking about his acts because he was so great.
Big facts.
Same thing they was doing about JB.
Big facts.
How we don't got a real, like, me and my wife and my kid picture, or I'm in the field. You dig what I'm talking about? Doing something. Listen, bro, he made so much noise moving all them people to New Mexico and setting up Shalom. He was a wonder. They wondered at him. They called him the New Age Moses, the new prophet. And then what was so fantastical about him was everybody wanted to wear him out, debate him, and try to show it. But then they had to read Owaspy first. And by the end of it, them niggas was like, man,
that's crazy, bro.
Listen, they got beat up too, just like everybody else try to come against us. We just beat you up with the information. It is what it is. I can't out information it, and neither can you. But see, I know that because I read it.
You see that? Exactly. Facts.
You dig what I'm saying? If you would have read it, you'd have been like the great Max Mueller. You'd have been like all these PhDs and MDs and scholars who read Owaspy when it was 2-3 months old.
Can you imagine reading it that fresh? Good night.
Them niggas was like, this.
That means them angels still lingering 2-3 months old. Them niggas still around. Like, yo, let's watch this read this shit.
Every one of them, they said, Owaspy's scope is vast. Come on, 2 of the greatest minds ever right, said at the same time, man, it would take the top scientists their lifetimes to try to make this. JBN said, man, had I tried to tell niggas that I wrote this, they'd have been like, you're lying. You're a liar. You didn't write this, bro.
Exactly. Within 50 weeks, nah, no, we ain't hearing that, yo.
Right. You know what I mean? And you wrote this at this level with this type of pen. First of all, you got one of the very first typewriters.
Nigga, you just described the time of Moses to a whole nother level.
Nigga, you knew what was happening in Pharaoh's court. You knew how to build a pyramid. Nigga, you taught us how to use the sun and the moon to tell time. Yo, God didn't even do that. God in no religion has ever taught people how to do that, even though he said, I put them in the sky to tell times. He ain't never turned around and then taught you the process.
These niggas talking about Etherian worlds. Niggas never heard of that terminology in terms on the scale of Owaspy. Product of Owaspy, yo.
Owaspy different, y'all. It's different.
And we ain't wasted no motherfucking time if y'all niggas ain't rocking. It's okay, nigga. We good over here.
Good. We don't need you. We don't care if you understand it. But here, take this Johnny Appleseed in your face. Because you ain't gonna never be able to say you didn't hear it.
Exactly.
And you ain't gonna never be able to say that once you heard it, it didn't make you feel a way. Ain't no way you came across Cosmo and didn't feel a way. You like me, you love me, you hate me, whatever you want, but you can't deal with me.
That part.
Right? So in the end of the day, I'm gonna whoop on you and then raise you. Because that's all you want anyway. That's all you want. You want power. You don't want me to be nice to you. You want me to punch on you. Oh, that mean he love me. Shut up. You a battered wife. Huh? You got Stockholm syndrome. You've been beat on by your God so long you think that it's normal.
Exactly. The God spell is real.
The God spell is super real. The thing how we know it's real is because we not talking. We got caught up in it too.
The God spell since 3761 BC.
And the crazy part is 3761 BC, to my counting, is 8 years before I actually give Anu Hassas time for actually beginning writing it. I say it's 3753.
Oh, we'll definitely bring it down because you remember he had that 200-year reign before becoming a Lord God, before he started making his decrees and the doctrines and shit like that. So
it's kind of perfect, and they don't even know the Hebrew calendar aligns with what Owaspy say is the time that the false god told the story.
Yeah, exactly. So if it's 3961, nigga, you just drop that to 37. That's what Anua over there created his heavenly kingdom.
Facts. They ain't even thinking about that, Selah. They not even thinking
you brought
about
that shit up yesterday. Let me tell you something. I came in on the tail end. I did cut some of that shit this morning, nigga. You going in on that shit. But when we came in on that tail end, niggas got the roasting so bad on that nigga. When you brought up that 3761 BC, I was like, ooh, I bet you them niggas don't even know that. The IUPK nigga, he ain't know that.
No, he ain't had nothing. And then you dig what I'm saying? And listen, somebody gonna have to take this debate. ISUPK, IUIC, whoever. Any of the 3-letter companies, you just like the FBI to me. You dig what I'm saying? CIA to me. You dig what I'm talking about? DEA to me. So I'm saying you're not an Israelite. Saying none of y'all are Israelites. Y'all faking, y'all phony, and your God is phony. And how we gonna end up proving it is through action and deed. Huh? You can't say you this holy good people and you're killing babies.
Right.
Huh? I'm saying everything you did in that Bible is opposite of what the real Israelites did. Everything. Don't matter what it is. Don't matter if you went into captivity. Real Israelites didn't. Don't matter if you was in the kingdoms of the east with David. Real Israelites never had a king, nor were they in a kingdom. If you went into captivity with Assyria, Babylon, the Persians, the Medes, you're not an Israelite. You're a Jew.
You're a stranger.
Huh? A sojourner in somebody else's land. Huh? And yet you are a wannabe. You want me to tell you how we know? Because you're practicing the wannabe doctrine. What does Levitical mean? Huh? What is a Levitican? I'm saying you're practicing the wannabe doctrine, and it's called Levitican. Laws are for the lawless. Why would you now need to turn around and teach Israelites how to be Israelites? You wouldn't. So who is he trying to teach to live like Israelites? The Leviticans, the wannabes, the hangers-on.
Hangers-on.
The people with no knowledge, little learning, and no God. The heathenistic, barbaric charlatans who tell you that you got to give them a goat every day. So you can fatten their pockets. And you dupes have been going for it for thousands of years.
The goat god.
These same Leviticans killed your Jesus. And yet you over here seal clapping. Ooh, ooh. They killed your Jesus. These same Leviticans that you're practicing their law, statutes, commandments, praising their God, and then turn around and tell us that the white man is the devil, but then never get to why in Leviticus 17:7 that you're praising devils. So you was praising the white man?
And my thing is that the devil y'all praising is form a figure of a man sitting on the throne. So even your God that you worship is still a devil.
I'm just saying, Jacob beat your God up. Why can't I? He made your God say, Uncle. All right, what's your name? And see, that's a problem. That's a problem right there, Selah. The all-knowing God who just fought Jacob had to turn around and ask him his name. He didn't know who he was. How, if you made him, you didn't know who he was? You said you knew him in the womb before he was born.
He said, what's your name?
Why didn't you know his name?
He wrestling with a nigga, he don't even know his name, son.
Come on, man. but you the creator of the world and all that. You know everything. You omniscient.
And think of that. Look at what is the significance of what the all right, so they wrestling. God lose. Jacob thigh get hurt. The angel say, what's your name? I'm Jacob. All right, I'm gonna change your name to Israel. What is holy about that?
Ain't nothing holy about it. What's happening is God is trying to change the narrative because he don't want nobody to know he got his ass whooped by Jacob. No, you'll never tell nobody this. Your name Israel now.
I'm gonna make you a whole other nigga.
Yeah, you will never tell nobody this lie. You dig what I'm talking about?
But see the significance of the name Israel being changed from Jacob in that situation doesn't have no spiritual significance or nothing to it. It's just a nigga wrestling to change his name. But when you look at the Owaspi's concept of what an oralite is, it says one who was initiated in the oral tradition. Now we have something. Okay, in the oral tradition, there's rites and ceremonies. It's mouth to ear. We got something there. But with a nigga wrestling with a motherfucking angel and just changing his name, ain't nothing there. What we playing with? What's the significance of that? You see what I'm saying, Cuz? What you think?
Yeah. And I honestly, I think they're literary inventions. And for people with no history, how do you get one? You usurp it. And then just so happened, you came out at the with one of the most holiest people in the world at the time when they were leaving their tough times. You just so happened to be there with them.
Right.
So when they left, you left. You had no history. You were barbaric, godless, heathenistic, of little learning and no knowledge. That's what a Levitican is. So to get a history, you must usurp one. And because you are not bloodline tied in with the Israelites, how do you get it? How do you get bloodline tied in? Now Selah, my cousin. That's my brother. Because see, if I can claim Ishmael, who we gonna be? Well, we can't be part of Jacob. Yeah, no, right? Somebody gonna call us on that, right? But we could be Ishmael. Yeah. See, they don't know where Ishmael went, right? And he's supposed to make these 12 other niggas. We're just gonna go over there and say we these niggas. That's a Levitican. That's a Jew. That's everybody in that Bible. And notice, if you notice, all the great prophets had to come to the Jews. They didn't live with them or by them.
Passing through.
They didn't live with them. They had to go see the prophet.
And you know what?
A
good example of your argument as far as the separation from a non-Israelite to who an Israelite is the story of the Essenes and Yahshua, how they separated from the apostate Jews.
Yeah.
So now the apostate Jews are the fake Israelites, and the Essenes are the real Israelites. And then it gives you a lifestyle and a breakdown of how they live. And then you cross-compare that with the adulterous Jews, the fake ones, and then bam, there go your exposure right there. Like, okay, then we don't see none of these niggas not eating flesh, you know what I mean? Not killing. These niggas over here warring, offering up bullocks. So like you say, bro, who are these niggas?
And then even Josephus tell you it's three types. He says it's a Sadducee, it's a Pharisee, and then it's one who is of the bloodline who purports to be holier than the rest of them. The other ones he called Judeans. These people he called Essenes.
See that? Yeah, exactly. He said there's a whole bunch of sects of these motherfuckers out here. Yeah, but then, like you say, you had the imposters. You had the niggas who already, especially the Idumeans, they done converted on the Hyrcanus, you know what I mean, seasoning them, anticipating them.
And even the Greek, and by the first century, even the Greeks had already been into it.
Facts. You got Macedonian
what I'm talking about? So they becoming Jews. The Roman is telling people who can be a Jew.
Oh, hell no. Jew for you, nigga. No Jew for you, nigga. You too much look like a real Jew.
A Jew for you. A Jew for you. Everybody gets a Jew.
Oh, shit, nigga. That's crazy. Malachi Maccabee. That's wild, yo.
Man, what's the word, man? Let's read some of that Escher about these Essenes and Yahshua and all that, man.
Man, that's in the book of Escher.
That's Escher 42, verse 5 and 6. That's Escher 42, 5 and 6. Hey, look, validating and verifying what these brothers is talking about.
And then a WASP though, it put it on a timeline.
Yeah, it's ugly, man. That's where you separate the men from the boys at right there. Because that's one thing Cal did last. Okay, well, who was Moses in Egypt? When was Moses born? No answers. No, I was saying this before you got on, Cal, that you noticed that all them niggas that was popping it in the chat, none of them really hopped on. It was only 3 people that hopped on. And do you realize no one rebutted you scholastically or intellectually? Nobody.
No.
Nobody. Now look at this right here, y'all. This is Escher 42 and 5. It says, and these angels inspired 700 Israelites. Israelites to separate themselves from all other people and to go and live by the direction of the angels of the Creator. Moreover, the angels inspired these people to call themselves Essenes as commanded by Moses in heaven. Look at that 11.
And these
will
be your in part some of your Qumran Essenes.
Look at that 11. To go over to the right, because it referred to number 1170 right there. So what is in this? What is in this saying? It says that is followers of the Spirit, in contradistinction to those who follow the dictates or commands of the flesh. Today we know them as Essenes. Look at that.
Look at that, boy.
Look at that. Shout out to the Nazarenes and the Essenes. And that's why you'll hear me say Israelite for life. Because these is the real Israelites right here.
Imagine that, yo.
These the real Israelites. And look, not just because of who they are, but mainly because of action, behavior, character, what they doing. Look what it says.
Look how small a group it was.
Only 700 of them, huh? It say right here, it say these Essenes were therefore a separate people, pledged to Jehovah, to have no king or earth ruler except their rabbis. And they dwelt in communities and families of 10s, 20s, and 100s, holding all things in common. But in marriage, they were monogamatic, meaning monogamous. All right. Nor would they have more than one suit of clothes each. And they lived on fruit and herbs. Vegetables only. Nor did they eat fish or flesh of anything that had ever breathed a breath of life. And they bathed every morning at sunrise and worshiped before the altar of the Creator, doing in all things in the manner of the ancient faith is. Look at that. The real Israelites are the faithists. The Essenes in them. In that locality, it would have been the Essenes. But look at they what they call that method of operation. You know what I mean? Look how they
modus operandi.
Yeah, modus operandi. That's what I was looking for. Modus operandi. You dig? Look at that right there. It says so that how they was living was based off a more ancient way of life that was going on before them. Right. So now you got to go on back to the times of Moshe, and then you got to go on back to the times of Abram, and then on back to the times of Zarathustra. Dang, this is the same methodology, the same way of life. You see what I'm saying? It's the same exact thing.
It didn't make no sense to me till I figured out that even Abram was a Zarathustrian.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
Yeah. Oh, that's true.
All right, right here. Let's go right here now. I guess, this is just the inspiration of the books. Coming back to what Kaz was saying about, what I mean, niggas ain't being no Israelites, or the books not even
right, because Genesis 1:1, it's not even talking about the Creator. It's talking about a group of angels, an Elohim who created. Right? So right there from the beginning, you're not dealing with the Creator at all. You don't know who or what you dealing with. And then you go into Owaspi and you find out that your true Elohim is Anu Hasaj and Osir, Tien and Sudga. You dig what I'm talking about? Sudga is the Apollo of India. Right? He would have been before Vishnu, before Brahma, before Shiva.
Now look, now check it though. When we just read with Yeshua's time period, they was told to separate from the other Jews, from the other Israelites. Now the other Israelites, the apostates, they would have been under the Ezra doctrine.
Facts.
So in return,
they still under the Ezra doctrine.
exactly, which is a record that was by the Egyptians. So
What Jeremiah 8:8 say?
False pen to the scribe.
Mm-hmm.
Pharaoh's scribes and recorders assembled in Caiana, and they appointed Phia, an Egyptian, to write the departure of the Israelites out of Egypt. And Phia wrote the account and called it the Exodus of the Hebrews, and it was recorded in the king's records, and copies of it were sent to large cities, and their records also, for which was the law of Egypt. Phia's record was afterward accepted by Ezra. You niggas thinking Ezra is the scribe that wrote the Exodus or Moses. Nigga, it was an Egyptian.
Right.
And then Genesis. Man, what the hell? Well, Genesis, the book of Genesis, as it's
Bereshit bara Elohim et. Yeah,
that's Osiris.
So you got the God of Genesis being Osiris. You got an Egyptian writing the Exodus that was copied by Ezra. So by the time we get to Yahshua, it only makes sense for Jehovah to separate them niggas from the other Israelites because they was already engulfed in depth in the Ezra Bible.
That makes sense.
And then what you got to do is then turn around, lock it in historically. All you got to do is what Pharaoh wrote the Exodus of the Hikakasu. It's Amos. That gives you the time. These niggas, 1446, you still 107 years late.
See that?
So when you look back in time, of course you don't see them because they're not there. And then what the God so doubly vicious, he didn't indoctrinated people that the Israelites went east.
See that?
So you would be looking for the real Israelites in the place where they're not at a time they left 107 years too late. So of course, when you look, guess what? They're not going to be there.
Now look at this. Now, okay, so we're showing the discrepancy of the scriptures, right? Now look, it says, now behold, it came to pass that the records were worthless, and to make matters worse, that the records were so voluminous, being more than 6,000 books, that the scribe Ezra could not make neither head nor tail of them. Nevertheless, they were all written in the first place, not by the Israelites, but by their enemies. Where even so, the testimonies of the miracles is none the weaker. So now, again, by the time we get to Yeshua, if niggas know this history is on the table about how this shit came about, they knew that there's discrepancy in the text. Now, coming back right here with Jesus, John 10, notice what he says. Is it not written in your law? He's not
mine.
He's not exactly.
Yeah.
He's not associated.
Not even our Torah.
Now, if me and the gang talking, we gonna be like, yo, Cal, or yo, Mally, as it is written in our law, I'm gonna include niggas. Man, this is our shit. But for me to say in your law, I'm opposing this.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
and make it more personal during that time. It's law is Torah. So he's saying, is it not written in your Torah?
Exactly.
See, that hit different. It's like, oh, this nigga.
Yeah. So that mean he knew it, just like we know Bible, but he wasn't espoused to it or bound by it.
Exactly.
Coming back to what you said, Cosman, this is the fake Israelites
because they had a Bible. Hey,
the Ezra's
I think it's
you gotta finish it.
Book of Safat 35. I think is chapter AA, and I think it's like in the 50s.
All right, and, we're gonna hit that.
We're gonna get a breakdown on who or the difference between a Jew and an Israelite. It's one major difference. Well, a couple major differences.
And this is key right here. This is showing you the true light. It says, and when they were thus prepared, the light of Jehovah came upon Moshe, and the books of the ancients were opened before him. Now let's pause right there. What books of the ancients are we talking about? What books of the ancients are we talking about? Let me precept that real quick.
Because we got books older than the Bible.
Yeah. Watch this, cuz. Let's precept that. Let's go to the book of Jehovah 8 real quick. That's easy work. Right? Let's go to 8. What y'all say right here? 8:2. In the time of my harvest, I keep a copy of these records, which shall be taken up to my Etherian kingdoms and filed with my Orion chiefs, archangels in the roadways of the travel of the great serpent, and their deliberations regarding the progress and management of the habitation of the earth and her heavens. So basically, let me come back to verse 1. I missed that. Jehovah said, God shall cause a record to be kept in my heavens, and his dominion and those of his lords, and he and they shall enjoin them upon their successors forever. So these records right here are basically, when they talk about the ancient books were open, the records are there. So if they want to go to the time of Abraham and get the lifestyle and the rites and ceremonies of the days of Abraham, boom, they open up the records from the time of Abraham, and boom, the words are rewritten. And when they were thus prepared, the light of Jehovah came upon them, upon Moshe, and the books of the ancients were opened before him, and he administered the Shevet, order of the faithers, upon them. By the voice of Jehovah, he what? By the voice of Jehovah, he established it. What's that? The oral tradition. He's orally speaking. They ain't writing nothing down right here. Everything is being memorized. This is the oral initiation of the order of faithers. It says, with all the rites and ceremony as they were to this day. And after that, the heads were no longer called heads, but chief rabbis, for Moshe anointed them by command of Jehovah. But notice how they got the information. It wasn't goddamn a nigga came with a book and we rewrote the shit. They got that shit. You know what I mean? They got that shit through oral initiation.
Exactly.
That's the oral light. That's the initiation of the oral tradition.
Exactly. Through the spirit, because the books were open.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
They reciting the words mouth to ear.
Yeah.
Now look at this. In not many days, Moses wrote the Leviticus law. Coming what Cosby was saying. These were for the strangers, the outer people, the outer law. For the inner temple of Jehovah was what? Spoken words only. That's the oral tradition. That's the oral initiation. If you wanted to be an Oralite or Israelite, you had to go in the inner temple and be initiated through spoken words, mouth to ear.
But this is also what you got to understand. There's an outer temple that was written, right? But to get into the inner temple, all you had to do was be born an Israelite. Right? You didn't have to do anything special, or you did what I'm saying? If your mom and your daddy was practicing Israelites, well, guess what you are?
Right.
By blood.
Because remember, right here, what we just read, according to the book of Esra, it stated that what? What the side note say? The followers of Esain are followers of the spirit.
Right. Not those who follow the dictates of the flesh.
Case in point. So an Oralite, literally, you have a homegrown stock indeed. But then if a nigga could come into the fold if he followed the rites and ceremonies of what an Oralite stands on. But look what it say. But the outer temple was written so that it was said the Hebrews had two laws, one which no other man knows. That's the oral. And the other for those who are not eligible by
faith.
Being those who were called Leviticans. Now, this is what Cosmo is coming back to. But not Leviticans in fact, but hangers on who had followed the Israelites out of Egypt. And now look what it states. Not Leviticans in fact. So this strangers is a mixed multitude of people. Any nationality. What nationalities we had during the Middle Kingdom?
Man.
Numerous.
A bunches of them.
You see what I'm saying? So you had the small stock of the Oralites, the real descendants of Moshe or whoever, the real initiates was, and then that's what I'm saying. The Leviticans would have had no knowledge of what would have been spoken in the oral temple, in the inner temple. Because it states right here, which no man knew.
Right?
Who
And
they talking about? They talking about the Leviticans wouldn't have known this shit.
And remember, the outer temple laws was for those who are not eligible.
Exactly.
That means the other people who did know the spoken word were eligible, right? But remember, many of them couldn't read, right? And whether you had known the Creator or not, or believed in it or not, by the simple fact of your birth,
right?
As an Israelite, you would have been able to enter the Holy of Holies without no Levitical priest. Why it mattered is if you were some other people, it seemed that you was getting zapped.
See that? Now
you
look
go
at
into the Holy of Holies like Uzzah, like the boy Uzzah. He accidentally dropped the little portable temple, and it killed him.
Exactly. And this made me bring back to this verse because, you know, at the same time, the Oralites had to be a separate people from the Leviticans. They couldn't intermingle. They had to be separate. It brought me back to this. Do not mingle with the Jews, for they are without understanding and are not heirs to everlasting life. Now, many inquired of the Lord, saying, if these have no understanding, are not heirs to everlasting life, how shall it be with our children who die in infancy? The Lord said, this is a matter of seed and not of learning. Whoever is born from my chosen shall inherit everlasting kingdom. Now, the chosen is the Oralites. They're the one who got the inner light of the Creator through the oral tradition.
Now,
serve the Leviticus law, them niggas could burn the fuck out following these false gods or following a doctrine that's not conducive to the Creator. Go ahead, kid.
When you get a second, go to the Book of Selah, 35.
Let's go there.
K46.
Book of Selah.
Yep, K. And go to 46 and read down to 48, because it delineate who is who.
Big facts. Big facts. For 300 years following, that the only faithists, meaning true Israelites, among the Israelites were the prophets and the followers of the prophets who had never affiliated with those of the kingdoms and armies.
So that means that if you follow Saul, if you was in the nation of Israel, if you follow David or Solomon, you're not an Israelite. If you affiliated with the northern kingdom of Israel, the southern king of Judah, you're not an Israelite.
Now watch this, and to prove that it's a conflict, let me just add on to that real quick. Let's go to Numbers. Numbers chapter 1. I think it's verse 3. Look what that say. From 20 years old and upward, all that are able to go forth to war in Israel, thou and Aaron shall number them by their armies. So who are these Israelites going to war, where we just read right here that for 300 years following that the only faithists among the Israelites were the prophets and followers of the prophets who had never affiliated with those of the kings and his army.
Tell Hezekiah come down here.
So Numbers is affiliating with the kings and his army. When they divide to go to war against the Canaanites. So now, the faithists proper were a small minority and the scattered in many lands. The rest who were called Jews.
Wait a minute, stop.
Uh-oh.
Because it hit a pause right there.
Right.
It says the real faithists, the real Israelites, those standing by the Creator, they were a little bitty group. Not no hundreds of billions, millions, trillions. So if you're part of that major majority, right, you're not an Israelite, because the real faith is the real ones were a small minority and they were scattered in many lands. So guess what? Guess what you can't do if you're scattered across the world? You can't come together and make one kingdom.
Mm-hmm. Now look at that.
Right? So to anybody who can even live in the kingdom, you're not an Israelite. Now the rest of you niggas who were called Jews.
Now look at this, King. Look at that. Look what it say next.
The rest of the niggas, the real Israelites, the faithists, the Essenes,
the Nazarenes.
The Nazarenes. We got them. But the rest of y'all niggas.
Hey, Cosmon, even the Polyanists of Tayano would have fallen under the standards of being a Nazarene saint.
Exactly.
Although he's outside of our nationality.
He's an Edomite, but they don't got nothing to do with willing to do right.
Exactly. That's what they don't
understand. Then who's to say he not of that stock, right? Yes. Obviously, he had Suis. Where did you get it from? Remember, this is a thing of the seed.
Now look at this, though. Exactly.
You couldn't have learned that. You got to have that in you already.
Exactly. A lot of times it comes from the mother side, being the iron, because a lot of times the mothers or the females are the ones who have the Suis and high perception.
Right.
You look at the lineage, sometimes it'll skip to the mother side.
Yep. And look, it says the rest of y'all were called Jews. See, you can't be an Israelite and a Jew.
Right.
That's contradiction. That's like saying you can be an American, but you can be African. No, you was an African who changed his nationality to American. You're still an African.
Exactly. You're right.
So my thing is, you can't be an Israelite and a Jew. Why? First of all, they're contradictory to each other. You can't be a killer and a good guy.
And the crazy thing is, the chosen went from, when you look at the overall paradigm shift, from the Ions, and then it went from the Ions to the goddamn Ahuans, the copper-colored people.
Yeah.
And from the copper-colored people, that's where all the lineage of the prophets came down.
Yeah.
All the big head priests. So like you're saying, it is a matter of seed, because majority of it is coming through the copper, even today with us.
Even with us.
But like you said, though, look what it states. It says the rest who called themselves Jews lived under the written laws and ceremonies which were compiled and established by Ezra. Let's stop right there. We just read that Genesis and Exodus come out of Egypt. We just read how voluminous the works was that Ezra couldn't put head or tail to put to. We read that the God of Genesis is Osiris. And now you have Ezra under the inspiration of Luamung. Look at all the confusion going on surrounding Ezra with the doctrines and the gods. Now he's being, first Osiris is the God of the Bible. Here come Luamung, bringing his inspiration. Now he got to select all these different scrolls to try to make this shit make sense. And this is what we have today as the majority of indoctrinational doctrine is coming from the Ezra Bible. So when Cosmo's saying, nigga, you're not an Israelite, he's saying that based off the fact that what we got today as the Bible and the so-called chosen people in that book, as it is written, is against the protocol of Creator as far as the behavior and characteristics of what is expected from the Creator.
And I'm just simply saying the niggas who rock with Bible ain't Israelites. Why? Because they're Jews. Simple. The real Israelites didn't have no written laws. The fake ones did. Huh? The real ones didn't rock with stuff established in Israel and Babylon. Why? Why didn't we rock with them? We were never there. Only you Jews were. This is why you speak Hebrew. Hebrew is the language of the Gentile.
Now
Even Daniel, your eunuch prophet.
Read that, Kaz. This is all on your topic.
Now look, this is what he's talking about, right? Now, these laws was written in Jerusalem under the inspiration of the false god Christ, aka Luamang. He the nigga from Revelations 19 and 11 that got a name you don't know. Huh? Which, so we don't get confused, we talking about the Jews. The Jew, right, had a combination of books that was called the Bible. The real Israelites didn't. They had oral laws.
Right.
And only 10. That's it. And that Bible was completed the year 2344 before Cosmon, right? That is 496 BC.
Mm-hmm. Read that next verse. That's the death blow right there.
From that time forward, 496, since Babylonian captivity, the Jews, not the Israelites, the Jews became worshipers of the Lord and the God, right? Us, the real Israelite stock, we don't worship no Lord and no God, right? Yeah. You,
I do not
fake Israelites, today, I'm talking about today, you fake Israelites still worship the Lord and the God.
That's right.
What? Why? Because you were a Jew. Why? Because Jews became the worshipers of the Lord and the God. But the scattered tribes of the Israelites, the Nazarenes, the Essenes, the real faithists, still held to the Great Spirit. Keeping their service secret.
Mm-hmm.
Now, these real Israelites were without sin.
What?
Wait a minute. Let's stop there. Wait a minute. Hold on.
I thought it was sin that
y'all Leviticans had a priest who went up into town, got drunk, and got pressed by some men, right? He got pressed by some men. They was about to take his little buns, right? And he had a servant with him, a female. So instead of going out there handling his own like a man or running or whatever you were supposed to do, you did what I'm talking about. He opened up the door and kicked the slave woman outside. Right? They raped that woman and no, not one. As a matter of fact, when they was done with her, they dumped her on the doorstep. Right? He never even checked to see if she was dead all the way. It don't say she was dead in the text. But you know what that Levitican priest did? He chopped that woman up into 12 pieces and sent them to these devilish Jews around the country to incite them to war. Does that sound like it's light to you? Does that sound like a good thing to do to a woman? To chop her up into 12 pieces? Kick her out and let her be raped. Listen to her be raped.
Look, dead or not, whether it's a living entity or if it's a dead, lifeless corpse, is it lawful? Is it light to mutilate a corpse? To chop her up into 12 pieces just because she dead, niggas say that like that's an excuse.
Right.
Ain't no excuse for you mutilating this woman's body. That shit crazy, bro. I mute up.
Right. And so they saying without sin. Hold on, that's straight sin. Wait a minute. Wait. Didn't Benjamin and Judah kill up 45 1,000 niggas in 2 days? Huh? Your God tricked them too. Go up there, go and kill them niggas. All right. Benjamin get down on them niggas. They come back like, oh, wait a minute. Hey, God. I thought you told us we was going to win. He was like, no, you got it. You got it. Get your ass back up there again.
You stupid.
They tore their ass up again. So the God set them up.
Set them up big time. Set them up. And not only that, these niggas is dropping. Bodies is dropping. So what's going on with those bodies? Huh?
Go back up to 48 again real quick.
Yeah, what's up with those bodies dropping? What's up with the spiritual condition of those bodies dropping?
Uh-huh. And look, who do Jews worship? All these Jews in the Bible today. Ain't you worshiping the Lord and the God?
That's right.
That is objective proof you're not an Israelite.
Hey, let's go. Let's validate that in Genesis chapter 2.
The Lord.
Verse 4. That's the very first time the Lord God is going, man.
That boy Zoyak said he would do whatever the Lord puts on him.
Exactly.
These niggas is worshiping the Lord God. That's true.
There it is. Genesis 2:4. The Lord God made heaven and the earth, right there. And here in the Owaspy is saying
the fake Israelites praise Lord and God.
That's crazy.
But the scattered tribes of the real faith, it's the real Israelites, still held to nothing but the Great Spirit, huh?
Israelites life.
Secret.
Yeah. That's good.
Huh? They was the ones that kept it secret that wasn't praising Lord and God. They were without
right here, cuz. Doing no war.
Oh, that kills the whole So we're looking at character, nature, and deed.
Right.
Hmm?
Right.
You can't tell me you a man of peace.
So who was Benjamin worshiping? Who was Benjamin and Israel worshiping? If there's a commandment saying don't go to war, what happened?
That's what I'm saying. The God is playing both sides. Niggas, they got these niggas going to war, but they getting their head took off. They sacrificing to them and everything.
That's crazy.
But dig this. Peter Warburg and Rothschild played both sides of the game and funded both sides of the war against their own people.
The facts.
And even funded the kilns of the Holocaust.
Facts.
They paid for them for their own people to get destroyed.
But that's
right?
what I'm saying.
So
go ahead, Kaz.
The God of the Jew, if the God of the Jew plays both sides of the game, don't it make sense that his followers are both corrupt and play both sides of the game too in war?
Exactly. And what does that say right there? What does that say? The wars in heaven have inspired mortals to war on earth. So you see the same concept of what Cosmon just described of playing both sides of the fence on the heavenly side with the God now being played out on the earthly side with the Rothschilds.
That's right.
Yeah, because man is propelled by what he can't see. He's inspired.
Facts.
He's inspired. Everything that moves off inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Then once you see it, that inspires you too.
Yeah.
And then look at this. For God to be destroying the Benjamites and the Israelites and delegating in the war, what are the spiritual conditions of those dying in the war? They don't even have an answer for that in the Bible. But here we see in the Owaspy Book of Thor 115, those who are slain on the earthly battlefield are born into spirit and chaos, not knowing they are dead as to earth life. So they are lingering on the battlefield, still batting what? Imaginary foes.
Think about this, y'all. It's some people still running across the fields in Germany in World War II.
Oh, man. That's
guys, we're going to get these crowds. We're going to kill them. He's still running. He don't even know he got shot in the head.
Exactly. Facts.
He got shot in the head 80 years ago. He's still fighting imaginary Germans popping up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Right now.
That shit is on some man shit.
Say? Some of them are unapproachable.
Bro, that shit is on some Manchurian candidate type.
Yeah, think about it. Think about it, Mally. Let's say I fought in the Civil War.
Crazy.
It's 160 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Imagine I have been in a state of high, like adrenaline, because I'm fighting for my life, and I lose it, and then I still somehow come back, and I'm still doing the same thing, right? So I'm in this heightened state of war and alertness for 160 years.
Yeah, but it's like
Look at this.
It's like a subjective world that you because you not still fighting.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like your physical body is dead. It's like you got put into some type of program down there. Yeah, like that shit crazy to me.
And this is how I know.
It says you're battling imaginary foes. So this is what you imagining.
Yeah, it's in your mind.
Right. So you just run. That's like you ever been downtown in the city? You just see a wild nigga just acting crazy. He's out of his mind. It's like
look, hey, look, I never noticed that. Look at number 16. Look at number 16.
All the earth, these battlefields are covered with
spirits and chaos.
With the spirits of drudges, yaks, and ground people.
I never noticed that.
Who know nothing more than the beast of the field. Just imagine encountering a yak spirit.
Nick, so for everybody who may not understand what a yak is understood as your modern day Bigfoot. Your Yeti.
Damn Yeti.
Sasquatch. You dig what I'm talking about? Those are real man, right?
That's like a Yeti, nigga.
That's a man. That is a ancient.
When they say black in OSP, the Drooks, brother. See, niggas forget that at one point niggas was covered up like this. Asu was damn near like this. He had to sustain the environment. It may not have been all over his whole body like this, but it meant you could look at your body and see areas like on your forearm, your shin, where it would have been more covered in hair.
Yeah.
Animal man. That's crazy, bro. The monstrosites, the monstrosities.
And then it's right. It's a monstrosity is something beyond a yak.
Yes.
So what is so you did what I'm talking about? Crazy. Right, Dreadful. Wolfman too, right? They call him Cynocephaly. Dog-headed men. They even say Saint Maurice. Saint Maurice of the Christian faith was a dog-headed man. Look, there you go, right there. Top one. Cynocephaly.
Having a head of a canid. A dog, damn.
Having the head of a dog.
Typically that of a dog or a jackal is a widely attested mythical phenomenon existing in many different forms of context. The real meaning is dog-headedness.
That's a saint right there. See the guy? Look, go down. It'll show you. That's a saint. There you go. They say these is in Africa. They call Afri. Right? Afri means cave dweller, troglodyte.
These niggas are saints. These niggas, this the Egyptian shit.
That's Saint Maurice. That's Christian. That's European.
But that's the same shit like the
he come directly out of Egypt. They from that region. They from the Middle East region. But Saint Maurice in them is from Europe. Or is that Christopher?
No.
That's Saint Christopher. Or is that? That's Christopher. Yeah, that's Christopher.
That's with the dog head on there.
Yeah, that's Christopher. He's to be a real. He's said to be a real character.
This should say 1397.
Yeah.
So you trying to tell me I got a picture of this shit in 1397, and we can't get a goddamn second picture of John Malanu, bro?
Come on. Now look, These are troglodytes. This is what a troglodyte is. They say all these types of people are in Africa. Now, this is only in the time of the Romans. This is this is Herodotus on down. Herodotus even says this. So this the 400s on down. 400 BC. They saying these whole people groups. Look, see the nigga with the Bigfoot? Right next to him is what? A cyclops. And look, they just look regular sized men. It's a dude. Look at the dude, the third dude. Got his whole face in his chest. I've seen these type of shots my whole life. I didn't know what they meant, but it actually means Africa or place or land of the troglodyte. Again, St. Christopher.
Yo, that's crazy, yo. But nonetheless,
Listen, man, I'm just saying it'd be hard for me to wrap my mind around a lot of this stuff.
Yeah, this is
right?
Shit,
but bro, when it start to be, there's no way that it starts to be just by chance.
Yeah, this some next level shit. Yo. I ain't gonna hold you. I'm like, nigga, look at the topics we on. You know what I mean? Niggas can never go this far with Bible.
Right.
You know what I mean? You can't even get them to explain what a false God is in the Bible and not associated with their true God. Look how we just differentiated the ways of a creator not engaging in war to those engaging in war. You know what I mean? It's like we got a standard. We set a difference.
Yeah.
You can't separate a difference and set a standard to show the characteristics of a righteous God in comparison to a false God. When in the Bible, your God is doing everything what he opposed. What Satan doing? He doing the same shit. So it's like, come on, man. But yo, man, I gotta get ready to push out, man. I got some shit to do, man. Go ahead and let the people know where they can find Cosmo and Cal. Let them know the presentation you just put out, where they can find it. You know what I mean? Cloud Kicker.
What'd you say, bro?
Now, I said I'm about to push out, so I said go ahead and let the people know where they can find you. I'm about to drop that link in the chat again, what we did yesterday, what you did yesterday.
Okay. Hey, for sure, man. Hey, listen, man. Shout out my dog, Selah, man. All praises to the Great Spirit, ever present, one that always was and is and ever shall be, man. Don't y'all believe nothing but Creator. You dig what I'm saying? As always, bro, you know what it is with me. You dig what I'm saying? Y'all go over there with to Cosmo and Cal TV. Y'all go to Creator Gang TV, Honor and Humility STL, and make sure y'all thumb up the video before you leave out of here right now. Hey, Selah, you can do something for me though before I get up out of here? All I need you to do is breathe in, huh? And let that light in, right? Because I'm Cosmo, y'all. And I'm out.
Salute
Peace,
to the righteous God, man. Cosmo. You going live later though? What's up?
Yeah, I was gonna show the video.
Yeah, go and carry the torch, nigga. Shit, some niggas be in the background got something to watch. I don't got nothing to watch. There ain't no highlight on here, so it's just like, you know what I mean? But I'm about to finish watching what you did, because I got on pause now where I left off at. So.
Hey man, that tank was hype, bro.
Hey, look, let me show you.
Selah came up out of his sleep like a mummy. He was like,
hey, see, look, I got you paused right here.
Oh, it's about to get cooking right now.
Yeah, I'm in an hour and 21 minutes in. That's where I'm at now.
It's about to get cooking. It's getting good right there.
Yes, sir.
All right, then, bro. I'm gonna holler at you.
All right, King. Salute.
One.
So that's the God Cosmo and Cal, y'all. Y'all go ahead and check it out. They go to the link in the chat. You know what I mean? With that, your boy Selah Shalom is out of here. Make sure that I get y'all bidders. Let's run a commercial one more time.
Bitter Sweet Herbals. What it tastes is bitter, but the results are sweet. BitterSweetHerbals.com.
Run the rhythm.
Bitter Sweet Herbals. What it tastes is bitter, but the results are sweet. BitterSweetHerbals.com.
Most definitely, family, make sure to get your bitters. And with that, your boy Selah Shalom is out of here. Let's vibe out. What we rocking with? Creator's finest. Let's run it.
In the land of truth and light, where the spirits dance all night, the Creator gang shines bright, guiding us with all their might. Trumpets sound across the sky as we raise our voices high, praising the one most high under the OASP's watchful eye. We sing songs of love and grace in this sacred space. For the Creator gang we embrace, their wisdom we chase, with trumpets playing in tune under the silvery moon. We dance until the morning sun, this connection never undone. Harmony in every beat, our faith is concrete. Through the pages of the OASP, ancient wisdom on display, teaching us the righteous way, leading us to a brighter day. With each trumpet blast, we're reminded of the past and the love that will ever last in this divine contrast. United in spirit, we uplift and hear it. We sing songs of love and grace in this sacred space. For the Creator gang we embrace, their wisdom we chase, with trumpets playing in tune under the silvery moon. We dance until the morning sun, this connection never undone. We sing songs of love and grace in this sacred space. For the Creator gang we embrace, their wisdom we chase, with trumpets playing in tune under the silvery moon. We dance until the morning sun, this connection